Hey everyone, I've been using the Garmin Forerunner 965 for a few months now, and today I'm going to break down everything you need to know. What it's like day to day, whether it's actually worth your cash, and if you should seriously consider buying it. I'm going to cover everything from how it feels on your wrist, to how it tracks your workouts, the software quirks, and some stuff you probably didn't even think about before. So let's dive in. First up, design and durability. Garmin has a rep for making tough watches, and this one is no exception. Compared to something like an Apple Watch, the 965 feels like it could survive a drop or a scrape without batting an eye. That said, the screen here is pretty flat and flush with the bezel, which means you gotta watch out because it's a little more vulnerable to getting scratched if you're clumsy like me and tend to bang your wrist on door frames or tables. Now, it comes with a silicone strap out of the box, which is comfy but can trap sweat if you don't dry it off after a workout. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. Wearing it wet all day leads to those annoying wrist marks. I recommend picking up a fabric or nylon band if you want something more breathable and quick drying. The hardware buttons are classic Garmin, 5 of them, and they work really well for quick navigation, especially when your fingers are sweaty or you're wearing gloves. Plus, the touchscreen is responsive, so you can switch between buttons and touch controls depending on what's easiest at the moment. That combo is honestly a lifesaver during workouts. Oh, and I gotta say, there's a certain vibe wearing a Garmin, especially if you're a runner or triathlete. It kind of says, yeah, I'm serious about training, in a way the Apple Watch just doesn't. If that's your thing, this watch nails the aesthetic. The display is bright and colorful. A big step up from older Garmins I've used that struggled in direct sunlight. You can easily glance at your stats outside without squinting. The colors look a bit retro to me, kinda like an old school video game, which is quirky but also kinda cool. The font isn't perfect, but it's clear enough and gets the job done. If you're into tracking your runs on Strava or Apple Health, Garmin has that covered. Uploading runs to Strava is seamless and cloud to cloud, so you don't have to fuss with syncing from your phone. Apple Health integration is solid too. While it won't dump every bit of Garmin data into Apple Health, it sends over enough so you can keep all your fitness info centralized. This is clutch if you're using other health apps or wearables like Whoop to get a full picture of your performance and recovery. The 965 is a step above the 265 in terms of features. The 265 is more basic and runner-focused, but the 965 adds a ton more, making it ideal if you're training for triathlons or just want a more all-around fitness tool. Heart rate tracking on the Garmin is pretty spot on and matches up well with my Apple Watch. If you want the best accuracy, I recommend pairing it with a chest strap like the Polar H10, especially if you do interval training or want precise heart rate zones. Keep in mind, factors like how tight you wear it, skin tone, or even tattoos can affect wrist sensor accuracy. GPS is multi-band on this watch, which is supposed to boost accuracy, and from my experience, it's very reliable. I tested it against other top-running watches, and while no GPS is perfect, it's definitely close enough for most people. The one place Apple Watch still shines is in track mode. It nails your exact lane and distance meter to meter. Garmin's track mode is decent, but not quite as precise, and switching into it can be a bit clunky. One feature I love is the race predictor. It estimates your 5K, half marathon, or marathon times based on your fitness trends. Watching those numbers fluctuate really motivates me to train smarter. Garmin's route feature is a game changer if you like exploring new places. You can set a distance, choose a direction, and it creates a loop with turn-by-turn navigation on your watch. It's perfect for running in unfamiliar cities without worrying about getting lost. I do wish Garmin let you draw custom routes like Coros does, where you can literally plot points on a map and the watch generates the path. Garmin's approach is a bit less flexible and harder to use, so I hope they improve that in the future. A funny but real thing. Lots of people get a Garmin partly to flex on social media, showing off their mileage stats with those cool wrist selfies. If that's you, this watch delivers. It's more of a serious athlete vibe compared to an Apple Watch. Garmin's training load and recovery insights are great if you really want to understand how hard you're pushing yourself. It tells you if you're overtraining, maintaining, or slacking, which can be a bit brutal sometimes. When I'm not training for anything, I tend to ditch the watch because seeing my fitness decrease is kind of a downer. There are extras like stress tracking, body battery, and VO2 max estimates. VO2 max is legit useful, but stress and body battery feel like bonus features most people won't obsess over. They're there if you want them, but don't let those numbers drive your decisions. Sleep tracking is surprisingly good here. It competes with Whoop and Aura in tracking heart rate and sleep duration, and the best part? No monthly fees. I don't put much stock in detailed sleep stage data from any wrist device since it's mostly estimates, but for general sleep patterns, Garmin does well. Music control is a big one for runners. Garmin lets you download playlists from Spotify or other services to listen offline, which is clutch if you run without your phone. That said, the interface isn't the smoothest. You'll spend more time navigating menus than on an Apple Watch, which has that beautiful, simple crown for quick volume and track changes. Notifications and calls work if your phone is nearby, but honestly, in this notification-crazy world, I'm not sure how often you'll want constant alerts. Garmin does have safety features, but depends on your phone's connection to work. Garmin Pay is neat for leaving your wallet behind, but heads up, not all credit or debit cards work with it. I found many of my cards unsupported, so double check if your bank is compatible before relying on it. So, is the Garmin Forerunner 965 worth it? If you're a serious athlete, triathlete, or someone who wants a durable, feature-packed fitness watch that integrates seamlessly with third-party platforms, I'd say yes. It's built tough, tracks your training reliably, and has some nice extras that make it stand out. If you're more casual or want a slicker smartwatch experience, maybe an Apple Watch or Poros might be better. But if you want to get serious about training, this is a solid pick. And hey, if you do decide to get one, check the links below. Buying through those helps support the channel and keeps me making more reviews like this. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.